Page 1. Court of King's Bench of Alberta, Judicial Center, Calgary. Plaintiffs Ethan Klein and Ted Entertainment Incorporated. Defendants Ian Jomha and Anissa Jomha. Document Affidavit. Address redacted. Contact information redacted. Party filing this document redacted. Affidavit of Ian Jomha sworn on July 27th, 2026. I, Ian Jomha of Edmonton, Alberta, swear and say that 1. I am one of the defendants in the within action, and as such, I have personal knowledge of the matters herein deposed. 2. The other defendant, Anissa Jomha, is my wife. 2. The plaintiff, Ethan Klein, is an internet content creator, as are my wife and I. We all produce satirical content commenting on internet culture and trends. Mr. Klein is best known for his H3 podcast. 3. Mr. Klein's brand of content is frequently and deliberately mean-spirited and aggressive, and involves mocking, insulting, and humiliating other content creators, including my wife and I. Mr. Klein deliberately makes inflammatory and derogatory comments about other content creators to provoke reaction, and then generates further content by commenting on the reactions that he has provoked. His unique, inflammatory comments about my wife and I include calling us Nazis and anti-Semites, making crude comments about our sex life, and mocking our finances and mental health. 4. This cycle of provocation and reaction generates views and ultimately revenue to Mr. Klein and his company. This defamation lawsuit takes place in this context. 5. In 2026, Mr. Klein confirmed that he was the operating mind behind an account on the media site Reddit using the name PedoTroll. Using the PedoTroll pseudonym, Mr. Klein made posts that described acts of violence, sexualized behavior, and other disturbing interactions with children, including the PedoTroll character's own children. In acknowledging that he was the author of the PedoTroll comments, Mr. Klein stated that the interactions were entirely fictional and were made for humor. 6. Mr. Klein's acknowledgement that he was the person behind the PedoTroll account was the catalyst for internet commentary by another content creator using the name Destiny, which I then shared. While displaying Destiny's comment via an internet persona, I expressly stated that he did not believe Destiny's allegations against Mr. Klein were true. 7. After a request from Mr. Klein's legal counsel, Anissa and I agreed to take down all content that Mr. Klein's objected to, and we did so by March 31st, 2026. 8. In a further effort to end the feud between us, I made a public apology to Mr. Klein. The apology was broadcast on my Twitch stream on May 9th, 2026. I have transcribed it as follows.
I've been indulging the dark side a little too much, for at least for me, right? Like I have my own principles, my own values, and I'm like, it allowed me to roll around in the pig shit a little bit more. And there's aspects of that I like, but it's not really like, it doesn't super align with my principles. And I think one of the things that sort of like woke me up a little bit is like, okay, wait a minute, I need to take a step back. It's the Destiny thing about Ethan and his kids. That was one of those where I was like, oh man, like I think I stepped too far out with this one, where it's like we know the reason that I showed you guys the comment about Ethan and his kids. It's because it's like Destiny's he's a piece of shit, and he has bad intentions. But he's going easy on this guy. Not going easy on Denims, Frogan, Casey Tron, Noah, many others, right? Has the eyes for lawsuits when it comes to all of them. And that was my reason for showing it. But I was like, after reflecting a little bit more, I'm like, ugh, like I do not want to roll around this pig shit, and I also don't want to. It's not within my principles to put that online, Like I don't want to spread that because it's just negative and it's not true. I don't believe it. And yeah, it just doesn't. It didn't feel right. So that's why I'm like, trying to take a step back from the scorched legume stuff and not really, not roll around in the pig shit. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Ethan and Ethan's family for putting that nasty Destiny comment out there. I felt like it was an okay thing to do based on, the point I was making, but gross shit shouldn't be spread like that.
9. Despite the apology, Mr. Klein and his company caused the statement of claim in the within action to be issued on June 5th, 2026. 10. On June 12th, 2026, Mr. Klein said in a YouTube video that he only wanted a sincere apology from me, even though I had already apologized. He stated, I said, and I still say, that if Ian would issue a genuine apology, I'd probably think about dropping the lawsuit. I don't think he's ever genuinely apologized or reckoned with the fact that what he did was so extraordinarily fucked up. If he did that, I would probably drop the lawsuit. 11. On June 15th, I made a further apology to Mr. Klein on YouTube. I have transcribed what I said in the video in full as follows. 12. On June 17th, 2026, Mr. Klein stated in another YouTube video that he would drop the lawsuit, stating, let's hear his apology and see if it's genuine or whack. I thought it was genuine. I'm working with my attorneys right now to drop the lawsuit against Ian. 13. After the second apology, though legal counsel, Mr. Klein confirmed that he would drop the lawsuit. As we negotiated the terms of settlement, Mr. Klein requested, and I agreed, to make a further public statement where I would show my disapproval of the kind of unhealthy, toxic internal discourse that led to this lawsuit. While I agreed to make a statement, it was crucial to me that the statement be authentic, from my heart, and in my own words, just as my apology had been. I was not going to read a statement prepared by lawyers. I understood that Mr. Klein, as a fellow content creator, understood and did not require an agreed script in advance. 14. Since we were not creating a script for the statement, we left it out of formal settlement agreement and considered it a separate agreement reached by email between our lawyers. Attached as Exhibit X to this, my affidavit, is the email correspondence between my legal counsel and Mr. Klein's email counsel containing our agreement around the statement. 15. On July 2nd, 2026, I made the additional statement in a stream on twitch.tv as part of a larger stream. I have transcribed the relevant portion of the stream as follows.
For like the H3 podcast, I was definitely getting sucked into the cycle, the sort of the bad parts of like online, the ugly parts of like online discourse. And I really don't want to be a part of that. And it felt bad that I felt bad that I was, engaging in that end. You stoop to their level. That's one way of putting it. There's a lot of, it's easy to get roped into it, and I don't want to be that person. For me, I think, there are like other people. I think it's worth acknowledging that there's been commentary around Noah Sampson, Frogan, all these people who are also dealing with lawsuits. and they're all in very different situations. Uh, and I want them to, I certainly don't want people to, see my apology and see any of this as like a reflection of like how other people need to behave. Because this is my world, and like this is what I wanted to do for myself. Um, like I very much want to get back into making content that, you know, is more reflective of who I want to be, and like, what drives me, what motivates me. And I think getting lost in, just the online back and forth, getting, involved in these communities, because it's such a slippery slope, especially for me. Like, I don't know how other, like, it's hard, right? Because you get so emotionally invested in things. And it's like, you just want to be heard, and you just want there to be like resolution. That's what I want a lot of the time. And in the pursuit for the resolution, you can, say and do some ugly stuff. You can be involved in things that are just very ugly. And I want to distance myself from that sort of stuff. Anything that involves, people's personal lives. Because Anissa and I have both been a big target of it, whether it be like Kiwi Farms or anything else. Like, there's been a lot of stuff that has not, I have not liked. It's very personal, really gross, and it's hard to not fucking, want to react back in a lot of those instances. But I think it's important to not, and get back into my own lane, for lack of a better word. So I think I'm going to try harder to, just fucking make good content, and not get pulled down into the drama slop, because I still think it's important to, defend the defenseless, and, stick up for people, and fair, good criticism is important. And, I do think holding people accountable is important, but I don't want to get sloppy with it,
After making the statement, Anissa and I received a copy of the settlement agreement signed by Mr. Klein. Attached as Exhibit B to this affidavit is a copy of the signed settlement agreement. 17. Our legal counsel and Mr. Jomha's legal counsel signed a consent dismissal order as contemplated by the settlement agreement. Attached as Exhibit C is a signed copy of the order. 18. However, through legal counsel, I have learned that Mr. Klein does not think my statement of July 2nd was sufficient to meet the agreement, and his lawyer has not proceeded with seeking entry of the consent dismissal order. 19. I believe that my statement conveys what was intended by the agreement, and that I did not agree to use any particular exact words or phrases. Mr. Klein and his company are now in breach of the settlement for having not sought the granting and filing of the consent dismissal order. 20. I swear this affidavit in support of an application for enforcement of the settlement of the action. Sworn before me at Edmonton, Alberta. Redacted. And then Ian Jomha's signature.